Hey guys, welcome to today's video, where I will be talking about the Jedi Order's unknown narcissist. I say we cut the small talk and jump right into this neglected topic. If you have followed Star Wars for quite some time, you would know that the Jedi are supposed to represent everything good in the galaxy. They are supposed to act as keepers of the peace and uphold themselves as valiant role models for young and old alike to look up to. The Jedi were supposed to attain a state of inner tranquility through calmness, patience, peace, kindness, and self-control. It was also the Jedi's goal at all costs to avoid emotions affiliated with the dark sides of the Force, such as anger and hatred. And I will add another one to the list, narcissism. Narcissistic traits include a grandiose sense of self-importance, needing constant admiration, sense of entitlement, exploiting others with shame, and frequent intimidation tactics. Upon watching Episode 2, Star Wars, I witnessed one of the most blatant displays of narcissistic behavior in Star Wars lore history, and possibly even filmic history. And who is this perpetrator who seems to share sympathies with aspects of the dark side of the Force, you may ask? Jocasta Nu. Jocasta Nu was a Force-sensitive human female who served as chief librarian of the Jedi archives during the Clone Wars. From a very young age, she was found to be Force-sensitive and brought to the Jedi Temple to begin training. She very quickly worked her way up the ranks, and sometime prior to the invasion of Naboo, she held a seat on the Jedi High Council. From face value, she looks like a sweet, innocent, and very kind woman who you think you would feel comfortable around, right? Wrong. During the Separatist crisis in 22 BBY, Nu tended to Obi-Wan Kenobi when he came to the Jedi archives in search of the planet Kamino, based on information that his friend Dexter Jetster had provided him.
Are you having a problem, Master Kenobi?
Yes, I'm looking for a planetary system called Kamino.
Okay, just quickly. First off, when Master Kenobi makes it known to her that he is having an issue with the archives, she straight off the bat comes across in a very condescending way that lacks any form of empathy. This is already a red flag. Let's keep watching.
It doesn't show up on the archive charts.
Kamino. It's not a system I'm familiar with. Are you sure you have the right coordinates?
According to my information...
Brrr! Okay, she barely 10 seconds into helping Obi-Wan, and she's already trying to doubt Obi-Wan's capabilities in order to fuel her ego. Like, she creates the assumption by saying, it's not a system I'm familiar with, that she must know every single system and part of the galaxy straight off the top of her head. And that because she can't instantly recognize Kamino as an existing planet within a particular system, she therefore has to question Obi-Wan and make him second guess his coordinates, even though he got the right coordinates. She displays her narcissistic trait here, with an expectation that others will always agree with her and go along with what she has to say. And I suspect that already we could be seeing her fueled by jealousy, which is a trait inherent to the Sith. Because as noted earlier, she was once a member of the Jedi Council, and for some reason she had to leave. Whether it was because she was given the boot, who knows? But she would have seen and known that Obi-Wan was an up-and-coming Jedi who exudes talent and wisdom, and all of the skills she could ever dream of having. This makes her bitter and fuels her with an unwarranted disliking towards Obi-Wan, which leads her to fear him being better than her. And we all know that fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Let's keep watching.
And it should appear in this quadrant here, just south of the Rishi Maze.
I hate to say it, but it looks like the system you're searching for doesn't exist.
Okay, so as we just saw, Obi-Wan pointed out where the planet should be located in a very polite and inquisitive way, but without saying anything like, "Oh, okay, let me have a look for you," or, "Oh, interesting, Master Kenobi." Jocasta Nu very coldly and half-heartedly slops her hand on the keyboard, presses a few buttons, sees that there is no planet, and comes straight to the conclusion that there is no planet, and that Obi-Wan is a fool with a smooth brain. She doesn't think to consider that Obi-Wan should try using the Force or consult Master Yoda of the matter. No, she looks inwardly to find all knowledge and guidance from herself, instead of using the Force. And because of her pride, she seems to have an expectation of special treatment. Like she is the overriding authority of every single bit of archival knowledge.
Doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
Wow, I'm speechless here. So Obi-Wan rightly saw Ponda's words that the archives might be incomplete, and suddenly Jocasta knew her stiffened straight into an attack position. I mean, just look at her body language. There are quivers of anger around her mouth, and she suddenly props herself up to become taller than Obi-Wan, so she can look straight down on him, and make him feel like he has only just been brought to the Jedi Temple to be trained as a Padawan. Her staring gaze towards Obi-Wan almost looks evil, and filled with aspects of the dark side of the Force. Through Obi-Wan's comments about the archives perhaps being incomplete, she acts as though this is a straight attack on her as a person, and thus, this causes her to respond with anger and a sense of humiliation that she has to defend at all costs. In this situation, she is displaying a very clear trait of narcissism, by taking advantage of Obi-Wan to achieve a self-focused goal, and that is to prove that she is right, and only she can be right. Jocasta here is riddled with fear, and that fear is leading her to showcase she is well and truly a narcissist.
It does not exist.
Oh heck no! She did not just turn her back on Obi-Wan like that. The skiving audacity of her. And she does it right in cold blood in front of another Padawan who is young and would be highly impressionable to deeming such behavior as normal. Jocasta knew is not a Jedi Master. She is a master manipulator, fueled by anger, jealousy, and her own pride. She has a constant desire to be admired all the time, and she invests all of her self-worth into being successful in the eyes of others, without actually being right or using the Force. Obi-Wan is left looking stumped and confused, probably wishing he had never come to the library to seek answers. I would never allow Jocasta to tend to my archives. Her mind is clouded by the narcissistic aspects of the dark side of the Force. And it behooves me somewhat as to why YODA or other high-ranking Jedi in the Jedi High Council didn't sense or seek to address this issue of arrogance within their ranks. So yeah, if you don't already know, Obi-Wan did in the end find the planet of Kamino. The location of the planet was erased from the Jedi archives, but this still doesn't excuse Jocasta's behavior. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think of Jocasta's behavior in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next video. And remember, be happy.
We lost the transmission, sir.